You heard it, didn't you? The laughter, the applause, the noise of their hands clapping when you hit the ground. Oh, they loved it. They lived for it. Your fall was their entertainment. Your pain was their applause. But let me tell you something they didn't realize. Something they were too blind, too arrogant to see. The beast wasn't dead. It wasn't broken. It wasn't even hurt. It was waiting in the shadows, sharpening its claws, licking its wounds. See, that's the thing about beasts. They don't announce their return with a parade. They don't beg for a round of applause. Nah, they don't come back to be liked or loved. They come back to take what's theirs. Do you want to know why the beast hides? Why it disappears before its grand return? Because true strength is forged in silence, not in the noise of the crowd, not in the spotlight, but in the dark where the world forgets you exist. That's where power grows. Quietly, patiently. Tell me something. Have you ever felt it? That itch? That burning urge to prove them wrong? To stand up and scream, look at me now, but something held you back. Something whispered, not yet, not now. Yeah, that's the beast inside you. It knows better. It knows the timing has to be perfect. It knows the roar is meaningless if the throne isn't ready to be taken. So tell me, are you still chasing their applause? Or are you ready to rule? You think power comes from being liked? From being agreeable? Nah, that's what they want you to believe. They sell you the lie that approval equals authority. That applause means control. But here's the truth. They don't want you to know. Power doesn't bow to smiles. It bows to chaos. See, order is predictable. It's weak. It follows rules, lines, paths. But chaos is freedom. Chaos makes them uncomfortable, keeps them guessing. And the one thing people fear more than failure is uncertainty. True power isn't earned, it's taken. It's pried out of their trembling hands because they're too scared to hold it themselves. They don't respect you because they like you. They respect you because they don't know what you'll do next. I think of the jungle. When the lion returns, does it need a standing ovation? Does it need the hyenas to throw a party? It walks in, slow, deliberate. It doesn't make a sound, but every creature knows. The air changes. The ground trembles. Not because the lion doesn't come back for applause. It comes back to remind them, this land is mine. That's the kind of power you need. The kind that doesn't beg for attention. The kind that doesn't ask for respect, it demands it. You don't need their approval. You need their fear. So tell me, are you ready to let go of their smiles and embrace the chaos? Because in chaos lies control. Why applause is a weak man's drug. Applause, the sweet sound of approval, the drug of weak men. They chase it like rats chasing scraps, don't they? Scrambling for the cheers, the pats on the back. But here's the cruel joke. The moment you crave their applause, you're not free anymore. You're their puppet. I think about it. The moment you start living for their cheers, you hand them the leash to your power. They hold it tight, tugging, yanking, and you dance. You perform their little tricks, desperate to keep the noise going. But the thing about applause, it fades. It always fades. And when it does, you're left empty, powerless, stripped of everything because you built your strength on their clapping hands instead of your unshakable will. That's the danger of chasing validation. It's a leash, and they'll only clap as long as you entertain them. But dominance, control, that's a different game altogether. You don't need their applause when you rule. When you command respect, it's silent. A bowed head, averted eyes, the heavy air when you walk into a room. That's power, the kind that doesn't fade. Let me tell you a secret. They cheer for you today, but they'll cheer for someone else tomorrow. Applause is for actors. You're here to write the script, to direct the play, to own the stage, not to beg for their noise. So what's it gonna be? You want their fleeting cheers? Or do you want the kind of power that lasts long after their voices go silent? The beast return, the silent rebuild. Don't you think silence is weakness? Nah. Silence is the beast's deadliest weapon. The most dangerous phase of a plan isn't the strike, it's the stillness. The quiet. That eerie calm when no one knows what's coming. That's when the beast is at its most dangerous. Because, in the silence, it rebuilds. When the beast disappears, they think it's gone. They laugh, relax, drop their guard. But that's the point, isn't it? To let them feel safe. To let them forget. And what they don't see is what's happening in the shadows. The claws are sharpening. The strategy is taking shape. The hunger. Oh, the hunger grows. Every insult, every failure, every betrayal, it's all fuel for the fire. And while they're busy clinking glasses and celebrating, the beast is watching, waiting, planning. Silence isn't surrender. It's survival. It's patience. And patience is the beast's greatest ally. But silence alone isn't enough. The beast doesn't just wait, it prepares. This is the phase where the work happens. Quietly, ruthlessly, you sharpen your skills. You build alliances with those who can help you rise. And most importantly, you observe. You watch for their weaknesses, their cracks, their blind spots. Because when the time comes, you'll know exactly where to strike. Trust me, preparation isn't glamorous. It's lonely, painful. But every moment spent in the dark makes the return that much brighter, that much more unstoppable. And then, when the time is right, you strike, not with noise, not with a roar, but with precision, calculated, ruthless. You don't waste time proving yourself. You take what's yours, swiftly, powerfully, without mercy. The world won't know what hit it. One moment you were a ghost, a forgotten shadow. And the next you're standing at the top, and they're scrambling to figure out how it happened. And by the time they hear your growl, it's already too late. And you don't let them see you coming. Don't let them hear you growl. Not until you're close enough to rip the crown from their head. The beast doesn't roar to announce its return. It roars to remind them. This throne was never theirs to keep. Ruling, not pleasing. The beast doesn't come back for applause. It doesn't care about the cheers, the smiles, or the nods of approval. Nah, that's for the weak, the ones who live for the scraps thrown by the crowd. The beast returns for one reason, and one reason only. To rule. Ruling matters. When you live to please, you're not in control. You're chasing their rules, their approval, their fleeting smiles. But when you rule, you set the rules, you define the game. And suddenly, They're the ones chasing. Here's the truth they don't tell you: control doesn't come from applause. It comes from dominance. From having the strength to stand alone, to make them play by your rules, not theirs. You don't need them to like you. You need them to obey you. And here's the kicker: they'll respect you more when they fear losing you than they cheer your presence. Fear lasts. Respect lasts. Applause, it fades the second someone else entertains them better. If you want to rule, you have to stop seeking approval. Be assertive. Speak with conviction. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Weakness is a language they recognize and exploit. Cut it out of your vocabulary. Not be decisive. Make decisions like your life depends on them. Wavering isn't an option. You want respect? Show them you know what you want and that you'll get it no matter what. Be strategic. This isn't about brute force. It's about playing the long game. Observe. Plan. Strike when the timing is right. They won't even see it coming. And we start making moves not to please, but to dominate, you'll see it. The shift, the way they look at you changes. The fear creeps in. The respect grows. They won't clap, but they'll listen. They'll follow. Fear over cheer. Do you want to know why the beast doesn't crave their applause? Because it's meaningless. Nor a distraction. The beast knows the only thing that matters is control. And control isn't won by smiles. It's won by fear. When they know you can leave, and they can't replace you. When they know you hold the power to destroy everything they cling to, that's when they truly respect you. So ask yourself, do you want to be their entertainer or their ruler? Because the crown doesn't go to the one who plays nice. It goes to the one who plays to win, destroying the false applause of the crowd. The crowd, that faceless, fickle mob, always cheering for something or someone. They clap, they scream, they shout your name today. But let me let you in on a little secret. Tomorrow, they'll cheer your downfall just as loudly. That's the hollowness of public applause. It feels good for a moment, a fleeting high, but it's empty, meaningless. You think it means they love you, respect you, maybe even admire you. Nah, they just love the show. And the second the curtain falls, they'll move on. The illusion of applause. And you know what applause really is? Noise. Empty noise. It's the sound of people clapping not for you, but for what you can do for them. They don't care about you. They care about the entertainment you provide. Let me remind you, the same crowd that cheers your name will cheer your execution. The same hands clapping for you today will throw stones at you tomorrow. Not because that's the game. The crowd doesn't have loyalty. They have attention spans. Short, fleeting attention spans. And if you live for their cheers, you're a prisoner of their whims, a puppet dancing for their fleeting amusement. Think of every king, every hero, every so-called idol. They all stood on a stage basking in the cheers. And then one misstep, one mistake. And the same crowd that built them up tore them down. The crowd loves a rise, but they love a fall even more. So why would you ever give them that power? Build strengths, not noise. Stop chasing the noise. Stop living for the claps. Instead, build something real, something undeniable. Something they can't take from you. even when the cheers stop. Work in silence. Grow in the dark. Let your strength speak for itself, not their hollow applause. Because when you stop living for their validation, you start living for your own power. And when you do come back, when the beast returns, they won't just clap, they'll bow. So tell me, will you keep chasing their noise? Or will you start building your silence into something they'll never forget? Unleashing chaos, the beast's rule. If you want to rule, then forget about order. Forget about playing by their rules, their systems, their expectations. Those are cages they built to keep you tame, predictable, controllable. But the beast thrives in chaos. Predictability is weakness. It's a leash they'll wrap around your neck the moment you show your hand. They'll learn your patterns, your habits, and then use them to control you. But chaos is freedom, it's power. It keeps them guessing, off balance, terrified of what you'll do next. Because when they don't know what's coming, they can't prepare. They can't stop you. And here's the trick. They don't need to know your next move. They just need to know that whatever it is, it's going to shake their world to its core. The power of unpredictability. You ever notice how people cling to patterns? They want you to be predictable because it makes them feel safe. It lets them think they're in control. But the moment you break the mold, the moment you shatter their expectations, they panic, they scramble, they fall apart. If they don't know what you'll do next, they'll never know how to stop you. Simple as that. Think of a storm, a swirling, relentless hurricane ripping through the land. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't seek approval. It simply tears down everything in its path, leaving the weak trembling and the strong struggling to rebuild. A wildfire. It doesn't care about applause or opinions. It consumes, it destroys, and in its wake, the landscape is reborn. That's what chaos does. It dominates. It resets the board. It makes way for something new, something stronger. So here's your choice. Stay predictable, let them box you in, let them leash your power. Or unleash chaos. Not be the storm they can't outrun. Be the wildfire they can't extinguish. Let them fear your unpredictability. Because that fear, that's the leash you hold around their necks.